¿Y yo qué? Ya era hora, ¿no?, de seguir con el videoblog contando un poquillo lo que estoy haciendo aquí en Inglaterra, que os aseguro que no es poco. Si es la primera vez que entras aquí y no sabes muy bien de qué va la cosa, voy a dejar una pestañita aquí arriba para que puedas ver el primer vídeo que subí y que veas dónde estoy, el estudio donde estoy realizando las prácticas. La verdad es que estoy viviendo un montón de cosas muy interesantes y me gustaría subir más contenido, pero no me resulta fácil. He hecho muchas horas en el estudio y tengo que compaginar lo demás con un trabajo que he de presentar cuando vuelva a España. Además, pues el día a día, comprar comida, comer y esas cosas que hacemos de cuando en cuando los seres humanos. Y el hecho de que quiero aprovechar y moverme también un poquillo por aquí, porque vete a saber si algún día tengo otra oportunidad tan buena como para poder hacerlo. De momento, aparte de Sheffield, he ido también a Leeds y York y estaba pensando en hacer un vídeo contando un poquillo también la experiencia. Por lo que si os resulta interesante, ya sabéis, hacérmelo saber. En fin, que de todas las cosas que estoy viviendo aquí, me parecía interesante presentaros a uno de los productores e ingenieros de sonido del estudio. Se trata de Martin Smith, dueño de Studios y responsable de que yo me encuentre aquí, por lo que eternamente estaré en deuda con él. Yo por lo menos lo siento así. Estuvimos hablando durante una hora con conclusiones muy interesantes y enfoques muy particulares de cómo trabajan aquí en Inglaterra. Así que en este vídeo lo que he hecho es recopilar todas las preguntas y respuestas que a mi juicio eran más interesantes para que puedan verse de manera más directa. Os dejo en la descripción los tiempos exactos de cada pregunta por si queréis saltar directamente a ella. Y aparte también ahí os voy a dejar la entrevista completa por si la queréis ver y por aquí en otra pestañita. Es que me gusta mucho así, la verdad. Y para el que le haga falta también os dejo los subtítulos tanto en español como en inglés en el botoncito que hay abajo. Nada más, os dejo con la entrevista y de verdad que espero que la disfrutéis. ¡Pásale! Alright.
Are we rolling?
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Danny. Oh,
How you doing?
hey. Good.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for letting me do this interview, for being here as well, carrying out this internship. Well, you know that I really appreciate it. Well, you know that this interview is going to be shown mostly for Spanish speakers, so I would like to approach it to make it useful for that potential audience. Shall we start?
Begin.
Alright. Okay, first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
So the people who don't know you can be more aware about you and your backgrounds.
Okay.
Great.
I'm Martin Gregory Smith.
Alright.
I'm a music person. It's a wide area. And so my journey began as a guitarist and moved into a musical director. And now it's more of a recording guy.
Alright. So, yeah, I wanted to start this subject, like this sound engineering, and I wanted to know your opinion and your vision about it. So, my first question is, did you study anything related to sound, or was it more about a natural development from your music experience?
Yeah, I think it's more of a natural development. The first experiences I had in music were listening to things and then trying to work out how to make them happen so that I could recreate the magic. And this is the same evolution, I think. So yeah, I've learned certain things academically, but really it's always to be supportive to the art or the emotional side of music making. I think that's how I've come into this. So I had a short course in sound engineering in a place in London called the Recording Workshop. That was very basic. That was just a guy in a little studio 1 day a week for 6 weeks.
Alright.
Very straightforward. And he would just put up some tracks and say, okay, try and manipulate them, try and mix them. And then more recently I studied orchestration online with Berkeley University. And that was more geared towards working with string players and string sounds and computerized versions of that. So yeah, I also spend a lot of time, as we all do, checking out YouTube and learning from people who also work in this field. But I think once you've kind of got the basic concepts, the rest of it's down to working on the particular scenario that you're in and then trying to actually solve those problems yourself. Because when people are on screen and they're describing their solutions, they're tending to talk about a specific circumstance, and then you'll find yourself in a different circumstance. It's dangerous to try and take those techniques literally and say, okay, this will work here.
Great, perfect. So, based on that question, on the previous one, do you think it's required or mandatory, or do you think that's it's really important to be a musician
No, it's not important to be a musician, but it's important to have like a vision of what a song sounds like. To record music, you need to have a really good version in your head of what your taste is and how it feels when the song's really good. And you know, you're a DJ, so you know that you pick tunes which really appeal to you for certain reasons.
Yeah.
And others are okay, but you might listen to them at home and you might not play them for an audience. And it's that kind of taste that's really important. It's like, okay, well, this will work here and this will work here. I don't see myself as a sound engineer purely. I see myself as a somewhat of just a music gatherer. So part of it's production, part of it's recording, part of it's sound engineering, part of it's musical arrangement. But ultimately you're trying to use all those tools to try and arrive at something that sounds like what you'd like to listen to. And yeah, so being a musician isn't important, but having developed a sense of taste first is probably like that's the most important core attribute in your heart that you need. And then you can discover techniques to enable you to move music in that direction.
And you think that's something that you can work on, like that taste?
Yeah, but you probably need to have like that passion for the music to start with. You know, it's an obsession that's based on wanting to make the best music that you can make, and that never switches off. Or if it does, then you'll probably be the guy who's really grumpy in the studio going, yeah, I fucking played again, you know. So yeah, you're constantly filled with that passion.
All right.
To get something exciting that sounds wonderful, that people will go, yeah, man, how did you do that?
Well, that's the nice part, no, of it, to be it's an endless path, no?
Yeah, it's totally a labour of love. The labour isn't as big as the love. It's definitely something you just follow because of your passion for it. Yeah.
Good.
I hate it. I got no passion left.
I can see. Yeah. I have felt it.
Yeah.
It's
an overwhelming sense of despondency.
You want me to put this in the video?
Of course.
Of course. All right.
It's the real me.
Cool. And before starting your own studio, were you able to go to any other, like to catch ideas or to?
Yeah. I was really lucky. In the first phase of my musical thing, I was a guitarist in bands, and so I'd get to record in really nice studios. I didn't know it at the time that these were really good studios. I was just turning up playing and like, oh yeah, and the guy behind the desk would say, this was the desk on Pink Floyd's The Wall. I was like, yeah, it looks pretty old. It's a vintage Neve, and I'm like,
cool.
Is it? You know, I didn't really focus on any of that at the time, and in hindsight now, I really regret it.
Yeah, that's what
I was amongst amazing gear. So like, yeah, there was the Pink Floyd Neve I recorded through, and then residential studios. You know, there's one in the UK called Jacobs, which was really good. I think Radiohead did some stuff there. And then I'd moved further afield, and then I went to record in Sunset Sound Studios in America. But I'm sat in the room that Prince recorded in, and you know, surrounded by like musical history. Like the first Van Halen record was recorded there, and that's like one of my favourite. When I was growing up, that was my favourite album. And so I was able to see it all, but didn't really understand what it was for. So yeah, I wish I could go back in a time machine now.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, you know, me being from overseas, from Spain, I wanted to know if you have ever had some experience in studios abroad or overseas or in a different country. Yeah,
I have. 4 or 5 years ago, some guys from Serbia who've got a band. They are like part of the sound equipment company that hire to I think it's the Exit Festival in Belgrade, Novi Sad. They also have a band, and they're really cool guys, and they're friends of John, who owns this building.
Yeah.
John Burton, who's the live sound engineer for The Prodigy and other people like that. And so they said, well, making an album, we'd like to have a producer from the UK who knows that sort of sound of music and bring him over here to work with us for 2 weeks. So I did that, and they set up a fantastic studio, and they said, is there anything you need? And I said, well, yeah, I need like 2 Neumann U47 valve mics, a couple of U47 FETs, maybe a C24 Sony stereo, not Sony stereo, AKG stereo mic, a couple of U67 Neumanns, just joking. And I arrived and they're all there, all the boxes are there. Some 1073 preamps, it's all there, like laid out. I said, how the hell have you got this together? And the assistant engineer works for the broadcaster, the public broadcaster. And when Yugoslavia split up, Serbia managed to grab a load of the really expensive equipment.
Right.
So that was a nice experience. So that was an experience in Serbia. I mentioned America, so I worked in Sunset Sound in America. Those are two notable experiences in studios abroad. I haven't been to any Spanish studios yet, but my favourite experience of sound in Spain was I was in a club in Madrid. It had the best sound system I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, really?
It was unbelievable. It was fantastic. They're just playing very sort of like nice, clean, minimal techno, and it just sounded amazing. It was incredible. It was such a lovely atmosphere. It's like a small amount of people.
Do you remember the name of that place?
I was drunk. How would I?
Oh, right. Yeah. Of course.
I wish I remembered that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Now I wanted to ask you some questions about the internship program, or the world.
Yeah.
And related as well with assistants.
Yeah.
Like having me here and like being an assistant. I want to know your opinion and your thoughts about first, I wanted to know how often do you get applications from people asking to work here?
Yeah. Oh, I get probably 2 a week.
2 a week?
2 a week, yeah. This is a very specific amount, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, but it's impressive.
Yeah. There are so many people coming off courses, finishing their university studies, and then looking at the real world and then just saying, okay, what do I do? And it's quite scary for them because academically they're all filled with information, and then they meet the job market and the industry and they say, oh shit, there's no jobs, what are we going to do here? Yeah, it's a very interesting problem for them to solve. So I do get a lot of people inquiring, and if I could use your example, you sent me a really excellent video application.
Can we wait for that question, because I have it for later?
Oh yeah, sure.
So if you don't mind.
No, sir.
Sorry. How should the perfect application be, in your opinion?
For me to want to invite somebody in, I guess they need to be in a place where they would gain something from the experience.
Yeah.
So they might be saying things like they're open to learning production styles and techniques in the studio, and in reward for that, they would like to do such and such a task. So, like, I always advise people, because I do a little bit of lecturing on music business careers advice. I often say, you can walk into any studio if you say one of these 2 things. 1, I'll come and clean the toilets. 2, I'll come and fix all your broken leads. If you say that, every studio will go, come in. And once you're in the building and you're a good guy, then you'll probably stay in the building and stay part of the team.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's how you open the door.
Yeah, definitely.
Once the door's open, you stick your foot in really hard and you don't let them close it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to specifically say, I'm going to clean toilets.
No, yeah.
It's the case. It's the point of offering something to a studio. Like, every studio wants social media work.
Yeah.
So if you say, I'm going to come in and film you some footage of the studio and give you the footage ready for social media, come in.
Yeah.
So it's those little things. Just thinking, what do they need that they don't have? And then how can I offer that to them? And once I'm in and I'm a good guy, they'll let me stay.
All right. I think I know the answer, but did any of your assistants come from a different country?
Yes, my current assistant.
All right. Come on.
Yeah. He's arrived here from Spain, and he sent me a fantastic video. Do you want to know about that?
Let me approach it in a different way.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you received an email from a Spanish guy asking you to spend 3 months here in your facilities? Yeah,
no, exactly the same as any approach. It's you know, I've spent time in different countries, and it's not interesting to me from a choosing point of view where the person's from. It's more about their attitude and their sort of character.
And what did you think about the email with the video and everything?
Yeah, so you sent me a video which was fantastic, and I want to show it to people who I lecture in universities to.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Yeah, because
that answer.
It's an example of an application that it showed me, that you are putting a level of effort into achieving your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there was a technical ability in making the video which showed that you had technical knowledge. There was a drive and determination to get what you want from a situation,
mm-hmm.
which is really important in the studio. And your video was an example of going to the very end of what you could ask for, very thoroughly. And you said what you'd learned and what you wanted to learn, but you didn't particularly tell me lots and lots about your personal interests of making
mm-hmm.
music.
I mean, that was something I was struggling with, because I knew that I had to show my backgrounds and my qualities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want to sound too selfish to look at me.
Yeah. And
I don't know if I found the right balance.
Yeah, you got the right balance, yeah.
I mean, I believe that that's a key factor as well, that you have to be really humble, especially if you are coming from the bottom.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm happy that you found the video interesting and appealing.
Yeah, it was very good, very strong, yeah.
Now I want to ask you about the gear, the equipment and everything, you know? So, like, do you think that good equipment just make everything easier? But I wanted to like compare it with mixing in the box.
Yeah.
Like, if you have like a really good mic, a really good preamp, a really good EQ, compressor, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have almost everything done.
Yeah.
But it's not the same when you are dealing with mixing with plugins, even if they are like, you know, paid and they are original or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to get to that point. No?
No, there are so many angles
Quality.
to this. And it's style specific as well, so if you're working on like electronic EDM, that's never had like a history of being made on tape.
Of course, yeah.
So your ear doesn't go, it's not going to be right until you've put it through tape. So it's picking the tools for the specific style that's more important than anything else. So yeah, the computer does things well, and it does other things less well.
I believe that that's enough.
No, come on,
today,
you must have more questions.
No, I mean, not really. I think that we approach a lot of different things, and it was really interesting. I don't know if you want to add something else, or if you just want to complain about me, or I don't know. It's your time now.
Coffee's really important. You know, get that sorted.
All right.
And the rest of it is very simple.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me record this and
My
to
pleasure.
be here. You're really friendly and willing to help other people, and
Good.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Pues eso ha sido todo. Os recuerdo que si queréis ver la entrevista completa os la dejo en la descripción. Desde aquí quiero agradecer enormemente a Martin su predisposición, amabilidad y profesionalidad. Gracias a él estoy viviendo lo que para mí supone un sueño y no puedo hacer otra cosa que darle las gracias de corazón. Igual que se critica lo que se hace mal, hay que ensalzar lo que se hace bien, y de verdad que esto espero que sirva para que su trabajo se expanda un poquillo más. Nada más, gente. Si os habéis quedado con ganas de saber algo más o pensáis que me deja alguna pregunta en el tintero, por favor, hacedmelo saber. Si veo que hay interés, pues a lo mejor podría hacer una segunda parte con nuevas preguntas. Y os digo lo mismo con respecto a cualquier otra temática. Tengo muchas ideas en el coco que espero que me dé tiempo de desarrollar, pero si alguna en concreto resulta más llamativa o necesaria, no dudéis en hacérmelo saber. Y de nuevo, si conocéis gente que pueda encontrar interesante este vídeo, me haríais un gran favor si lo movéis. Nada más, gente. Un saludito.
Miguel.